Today, with the first turning of the pages at 11 o'clock, the Room of Remembrance opened here in the Visitor Welcome Center, and the Books of Remembrance are now in their interim home away from the Peace Tower and here with the House of Commons. So it's critical that the Books of Remembrance be in a space that has a strong connection to Parliament. If parliamentarians ultimately are those who, through legislation, send people off to war, we have a duty and an obligation to pay homage to those people who have given up their lives in service to this country. We sat down for a long time to think about what would be a fitting space, what significant feelings we could take from the Memorial Chamber and then translate into a space like this, recognizing that it's in a very different location. It doesn't have access to sunlight in the same way that the Memorial Chamber does. But first and foremost, they thought in particular about some of the ideas that John Pearson, the original architect for Centre Block, had in mind for that space of memory. And so this notion of there being a kind of a sacred grove where you happen upon the books and they are bathed in a particular kind of light is really something that we tried to recreate a little bit in this space, but at the same time change that sense of light and of space. So when you go into the Room of Remembrance, there's this kind of dappled quality to the light, which looks a little bit like stars or a little bit like light coming through the trees. And the light changes throughout the day. So it's darker in the morning and then gradually gets brighter and brighter, and then again as the setting of the sun. So initially, when the Memorial Chamber was designed, John Pearson wanted to actually inscribe all the names of all the individuals who lost their lives in the First World War onto the walls. But when they got the lists, finally, they realized that the space was too small and there wasn't enough room for all those names. So they had to come up with a different strategy, and that's why they went with the Books of Remembrance. And we have subsequently entered into other military conflicts, and so we have books that represent the Second World War, Korea, etc. The idea is that for one day every year, based on the perpetual calendar, the names in those particular pages will be on display and on view. So every day at the stroke of 11, in sequence with Remembrance, the pages are turned, and we in that way know that everyone's name will see the light of day.